We will speak mainly about Kasamatsu and Yurchenko today. So let me do some consideration before on this apparatus. And for me, it's very important that we take in consideration that for the young gymnast, vault is a very difficult apparatus for its dimension, and maybe because the gymnast can be a little bit scared to run as fast as possible and then go and on the springboard and have a very big object in front of them. So we have to try to find some solution to for a methodical step-by-step approach to this apparatus. And another consideration is that very often we, as a coach, have the necessity to go to reach to achieve a salto on vault, maybe for competition, and we completely forget about all methodical exercises. So maybe we spend 30 minutes on vault, maybe on pit, but we have a lot of different solutions as a preparation that are very useful to improve the skill we want to achieve. Okay, so maybe I suggest you, if you have 20 minutes, half an hour on the apparatus, to share the time, maybe the first 10-15 minutes for preparation, and then go to the vault to have some drills for the main salto you are studying. And another thing is that we always stay sideways to the vault, but it's important sometimes to go back to the gymnast and watch the vault in this position, because we can understand a lot of things, or maybe discover some problem about the run, about the support of the hand on the table, and maybe for the second flight. So we don't have to forget to maybe sometimes change the point of view and move behind the gymnast to have another perspective on the vault. And one last thing that I think is very important, it's important to use video analysis, because the vault, it's a very fast movement, so our eyes are not often prepared to find the mistakes or the technical problem that we have to solve. So it's for me very useful to iPad or phone and take the video, maybe look before we as a coach alone, and then to explain to the gymnast what could be the problem. So I think these were very simple but useful consideration, this apparatus. And okay, so we can go into the lesson. And you know that vault consists on different phases. The first phase is the run-up, and the run-up finish with the jump that makes the gymnast arrive on the springboard. And then we have the springboard phase and the takeoff to reach the table, and then the takeoff from the table to the second flight, and then the landing. These are the main phase of a vault. So we will try to analyze all these phases, and some are in common between, for example, the run-up between Kasamatsu and Yurchenko, and then we will do first Kasamatsu, and in the second part of the lesson, Yurchenko. So this morning with Rosanna, you saw a lot of exercises that are very useful to improve the technique of the runs. And we always say that it's important to have a maximum speed run for vault. In my opinion, is that true? But I think the run needs to have an optimal speed, because we have the maximum speed that make the gymnast to arrive in the correct way on the springboard. Because if you only think or suggest to run as fast as possible, but they can manage the speed to arrive in the correct way on the springboard, is not a good thing for the vault. So maximum speed, yes, but optimal speed to arrive in the correct way on the springboard. Okay? And I will show now some drills for the run technique with the guys. The exercise is a run with the knee very high and with a double support on the down leg. Okay. The important thing is that vieni qua. We use very well bent arms and the elbow in this position. Tira su una gamba. Okay. The feet is in a flex position, not like this, just like this. And the gymnast needs to use very speed and powerful action to go down. To go down with the leg, and then push on the floor to get a rebound. Okay? It's like this. It's a double skip. So from here. Okay? But faster the leg down. Okay. 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 Good. Okay, it's a little bit difficult for the coordination, but as I said, the important thing is the movement of the arms. Okay, bent arm in this position. Okay, opposite to the leg, and to think on very high position of the knee and very fast action down of the leg, and with the ankle ready to rebound on the floor. Okay, and the position of the pelvis, it's in neutral position, so it's not like this, it's not like this, but simple neutral. And the leg that go down very fast have to push forward the hips, okay, to move horizontally. Ok, again? Ok, solo due. Ok, ora senza pausa. No, no, sempre con rimbalzo. Ok. Then, this kind of exercise we can do to understand the horizontal direction of the center of mass with some sticks, like this. Rapido, rapido, spingi, 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 spingi. Ok. Okay. Okay. The arms movement is not like this, but it's like this. Okay, because they help our body to move forward. Okay, once again. Vai giù veloce, giù veloce. Ok, giù veloce. Good, good. Okay, it's good. Okay. Okay, and then we can transform this kind of exercise. So do maybe 7 or 8 steps like this, and then go into a run. And next step is that the legs need to be a round movement, a circle movement. Okay, so they have to finish the action and then go again with the knee forward and up. Okay, we do the same exercise, and at the end of the last stick, we do a normal run. Okay, but don't forget also in the run to raise up the knee. Go, 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 and then. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then we can move to the next phase, that is the way that how the gymnast finish the run and arrive on the springboard. Okay, from a mechanical point of view, it's important to consider the angle between the body, vieni qua, when they arrive on the springboard, and the floor. Okay, because you know, the gymnast gain horizontal energy with the run up, then they have to transform this energy with the springboard to go on the table. Okay, so the springboard go down with the weight and with the energy of the gymnast, and then release its power to the gymnast. But in this meantime, the gymnast keep his horizontal speed. So, for example, if you arrive in this position on the springboard go down, the body of the gymnast continues to move on, and when the springboard release is powerful, it's too late, and the gymnast is against the table. So it's important that this angle for arriving on the springboard is correct. So we can push the springboard, and when the springboard release is powerful, we can use the spring to transform the horizontal speed in rotation speed and arrive on the table. It's clear? Do you understand this? Okay, so we can do some exercise to try to achieve this goal. And another important thing is that the gymnast had a good physical preparation, the middle body, to sustain the energy on the springboard. Okay, this is a situation that we can find on the springboard, and so the gymnast needs to keep the position, and we can also make the exercise more difficult with some, perturbation on his body. Oh, apri un po' di più, allinea il bacino, apri più giù la schiena, apri un po' il bacino, vai più giù con la schiena, ok. Okay, this position, not so close, but neutral on the hips, and very much tension on the middle body. Then some other exercise very useful is working on very small modification of the body. Mettiti qua pancia in giù, spalle, ok, ginocchia, stringi le chiappe. Okay, cedi un pochino e torna. Okay, this kind of exercise. And of course, if we put this mat a little bit far from the other, the difficulty increases. And also, girati, pancia in su. Okay, from this position, vai giù da poco e apri. Okay. This kind of exercise is very easy but useful. Okay, stop. 3 or 4 steps of run, and then hop with the leg together and go up the mat. Bye. Okay. Okay. They don't have to do like this, but to try to arrive before with the feet and with the shoulder a little bit behind, and stay very strong, and don't modify the shape of the body. Bye. Okay. 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 Don't move too much. This is a quite easy situation. We can do this with the very young guys, gymnasts, and the more difficult things. The easy situation is that they have the same level between the run and between the surface where they have to hop, okay, with the feet. But the difficult thing is to manage a very fast run up and to arrive on a higher surface. So we can do this exercise, for example, arriving on the mat. It's the next step. Il tappeto. Avanti piedi. Okay, avanti piedi. Avanti. Okay? Only one round.
On the mat?
Yeah, on the mat. Okay. Okay. Stay strong. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, arrive on the mat. Close the Okay, in this position and then open, because we have to stay strong on the springboard and then use the body to create rotation and arrive on the table. Okay, so we can move to the vault. So I ask to the gymnast to do their run up and then arrive on the springboard and to do hand up to arrive stand up on the table. Okay, non decelerare. Okay, they have to keep the max speed on the run. Okay, and another important thing that the run up is stable, so always the same number of steps. We as a coach have to learn to the young gymnast to understand the rhythm of their run up, and we can help them counting the step, so we can have a good point that is always the same in each execution. And another important thing is to learn to the gymnast to measure their runs, because, you know, if we don't say to them, maybe the little gymnast say, okay, I start where there is the parallel bars, but if you move to another gym, they lose totally all the focus point. So count the step and try to learn to the gymnast the rhythm of the step and keep the same for each execution. Find some solution on the springboard. For example, it's useful to make a focus point for the gymnast, maybe in this way, so they can take off before the first step, and have also the two from cube to understand that the parabol needs to be a little bit higher to let the legs to go. Okay, it was quite good, this is the position, but he loses totally the middle body. Okay, good. Okay, you see they modify, adjust the run, small step at the end, and anybody of them use the correct technique for the run up. Okay, the same, was quite correct. This kind of solution make them to arrive in the springboard in a correct way, but they are not ready, because when they do their exercise on vault, they find a comfortable situation to arrive in a way that is comfortable on the springboard, but maybe it's not so useful for the vault. Okay, and for example, to have another focus point to get to the gymnast, another focus point, we can use small mats to make them understand to arrive with the feet over the small mats. Okay. Okay, a little bit losing of the middle body, but quite good. These are some drills that can be useful, and we can also keep for next exercitation, next step, not a problem, and we can leave maybe for the next exercise, that is to understand how to go out from the takeoff from the springboard to arrive to the table. And it's very useful to do a forward somersault, okay, but we have to pay attention, because you know, often the gymnasts want to go over the table, and so they don't do in a correct way the somersault. We need to see a somersault that with a great rotation in the first phase, and we have to see that the gymnasts are in almost handstand position on the table. If they want to rise up the shoulder to go over, is not a correct way. Okay? It's important to keep the control of the hip and the middle body, because the gymnasts don't have to do like this, but to create rotation from the springboard. Okay, just round the chest and look forward. Okay, with this part of the body in high tension. And about the arm, for me, it's important that they are here to arrive on the table in a good time. Not here and not here. Okay? No, I think this could be a correct way to arrive on the table. Because, okay, classically we always ask the gymnast to arrive on the springboard in that way, but you know, there is so much time to move the arms forward, and if you do like this, they can bend their hips, and I think this position could be a good way. Okay, was not so bad, but not great rotation. If you try to block your vision when the body is on the table, it was like here and not like here. Okay, quite good, but a little bit too much in this shape, maybe more round on the chest. Okay.
So you want it more like a handspring without your hands.
Yeah, more. Yeah, yeah, more like an handspring without the hands. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, and now, so we have seen run up and arrive to the springboard and take off from the springboard. Now we have to understand that on the table, we have the gymnast has the possibility to a little bit to change the energy and the parabol of the first flight to transform it to enter in the second flight. And they can do this with the action of the shoulders and of the arms. And so we can have to improve the stiffness of the upper part of the body, because we always work a lot on plyometric exercise for the legs, but we maybe forget to work on the upper body and the shoulder. Okay. 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 Again. Okay. Okay. You see, they always everybody use a different way to arrive in the essence. Somebody from here, somebody from here, but it's not so important for this exercise. The important thing is that they can stay in good alignment and push with the hand to arrive. And of course, we can make this exercise more difficult. For example, you can try to arrive on a higher block. Okay. Again. Okay. Okay. Of course. If you see, to arrive on the block, open the arms. Okay. And maybe it's too difficult, the kind of exercise for him, so we have to proceed step by step. Okay. So it's a simple way to improve the stiffness for the upper body and for the shoulder, and another exercise that maybe it's not so high intensity, but it's a good for endurance. Okay, muscular endurance. Okay. Okay. Say the position was a little bit closer. The gymnast should be in alignment on the shoulder, but it's a good exercise. You can try together, and then the gymnast can do in couple. Okay, wait. Open. Okay, go. Push. Come on. Push. Okay, like this. Push. Okay, you see it's a little bit like this, and then they have to rebound, not to close and open, but it's a good exercise. Okay, and so we can go here and try to do some handspring and to arrive stand up on the mat. So I like so much this kind of situation, the table with a flat mats behind, and we can choose different height and so different level. Okay, a little bit move on with the shoulder, but great powerful, great power, great energy. Go, go. Okay, the movement of the arm is not like this, but it's like this. Okay, it's very important. And we can keep also the foam for the run. Go. Okay, was a little bit like this, not so much rotation in the first phase. Go. Okay, quite good, but the second part was too much round. He has to push and stay in the same position. Okay. Okay, a little bit too much close. It's important that the gymnast look on the hand on the table. Okay. So maximum alignment, contact between shoulder and the head, and look on the hand. Okay. He tried to be round on the chest, but he lose the hips, and so his feet were too low. Okay. Okay, quite good. A little bit, so too much the end went down. Okay, good. So basically, from the table to the takeoff of the second flight, it's like a front snap. Okay, and we have to divide the two kind of vaults from Kasamatsu and also from the handstand. The one with double rotation in the second flight and the one with one rotation and twist. Okay, for the double rotation we need a higher parabol, so we can reduce a little bit the rotation in the first phase and to release the table before the handstand to gain more high, and use the modification of the shape, passing from the stretch position to the tuck position or peg position to increase the rotation, okay, reducing the inertia moment. For the vaults with one salto, so stretched salto with twist, we cannot use this kind of mechanical skill, so we have to create more rotation. So we need a good rotation in the first phase, and gain more rotation in the second phase, arriving on the handstand, on the end vertical line. Okay. So from this kind of position, we can do a lot of preparation for to add on the second phase salto forward, something like that. But now we can move to Kasamatsu. So the first two phases are almost the same, but it's different the way of the hand support on the table. Cartwheel, okay. Ruota, ruota e ruota spinta. No, ruota spinta salendo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cartwheel, cartwheel, and cartwheel with hop. Okay, okay. But you have to arrive at in this position. Oh. Okay, it's good. But you can stand up on the last. Hop and stand up. Okay. Okay, something like that. Okay, it could be good. And you say some of them have some problem about alignment, and we have to try to put the hand in support on only one line and to do the right things with the last support to push the floor and rise up the shoulder. Okay, again. Prendi velocità. Okay. Ok, vai in verticale laterale. Okay, they push with the head in this position and they not do like this or like this. They have just to push and arrive like this, okay? First thing, without quarter turn in front position, only sideways. And to improve also this kind of different position of the hand, we can do the same exercise of before, handstand hop with cartwheel hop. Mi fai vedere ruota prima e ruota spinta e salgo sul tappeto? Da qua vicino, mani sotto. No, salgo con le mani sul tappeto. Ruota spinta e salgo sul tappeto. Okay? But you see, it's like this and the shoulder close. They have only to push. Okay, little bit. Oh. Okay, but sideways. So the second and a little bit like this. You put here. Okay, here arrive a little bit with the shoulder close on the second support, and it's not like a cartwheel, but it's almost an handstand. Okay, you have to push and stay. No? Again. Okay, too much pass, to stop. One more. Okay, quite good. Again. Okay, good. Okay, so for Kasamatsu, first phase, it's always to create rotation. The support of the hand should be one in line to the other, but with the second hand that it's very aligned, because otherwise we do like an handstand. Okay, there is some gymnasts that maybe can have this problem I saw in these days. So not this, but 1 and 2. Because we have to create a first quarter turn on the shoulder, but not too early. We don't have to do like this on the springboard. On the springboard, we have to create rotation, then one support and second support very aligned. So the body turn and we pass sideways. Okay? So we can move to the vault and have some cartwheel arriving on the mats. So first exercise on Kasamatsu, when all the phases before are quite good, we can have a cartwheel and arrive sideways on the big mats. Don't think for the first moment on the quarter of turn. Okay, it's very good. It's very good. Okay, it's good. It's good. And of course, we can manage the highest of the mats. If we need a little bit lower, we can do. If we need a little bit higher, because, for example, for him and for the Celion, it's maybe they can do a little bit more. After this, we can add a quarter turn. So, okay, not so much amplitude, but was quite okay. Gabri, aggiungi il quarto di giro. Yeah. Okay, not bad. Now we can add a quarter turn on the shoulder, so releasing the table, take off, and with the first support, okay, like this. Yeah, okay. He changed a little bit the exercise. He arrived, stand up because he bent the hip and go down with the feet, and the shoulder remain on the table. And it's this phase is very. You have to be very careful, because sometimes they change the way to push on the table to do the quarter turn. Yeah, they can do like this. Arrive sideways, and then from this position go on the stomach, or maybe do roll down and stuff like that. Yeah. This is good. This is very good. Maybe it's not perfect handstand. It cut a little bit the line, and the gymnast, they do this thing to have much more speed of rotation, but it's very good. what you said, it's a good intermediate step, but I think it not help you so much to avoid mistakes releasing the table in that position. But it's a good way to understand what they have to do. Okay, of course.
If they do have the mistake on the table, what would you do to fix it?
I think come back to the previous step. Feel this position, feel this kind, or maybe create some easiest situation, maybe starting from high mats and arrive down, so they don't have to push so much. Then they don't have to find the way to arrive. Yeah, but they can use the shoulder and arrive in this position. So we have to find easier exercises. You know, the common mistakes from the first phase and the second phase we can see in a vault, also in big vault, also in maybe double twist, double and a half twist. If you see, a common mistake is that the gymnasts open the legs. Have you ever asked yourself why they do this? Maybe, but I think that the main reason is to have more rotation speed. Okay, to have more rotation and arrive on the extent. So it's not an aesthetic mistake. It's not an aesthetic, it's a technical problem. Yeah, maybe they do like this a little bit early, but for me, they want to gain speed, rotation speed to arrive on the handstand. Okay? But the French execution was very good. Okay? And so from that position, Kasamatsu is a forward salto. Okay, we have to think on a forward salto. And for me, the best position is the pike position. This is because if we ask to the young gymnast a stretch somersault after releasing the table, they can do like this. We have to learn to the gymnast to enter the salto with the shoulder. Okay? And also, with the pike position, we can have timing for insert, for add twisting. So, salto pike, open and half for Kasamatsu. Pike, open and one for Kasamatsu with half. And 1.5 for 2. Okay? Maybe we can try. Okay. Amazing. This is very good. Also for him, maybe not so much answered, a little bit cut the line, but great power, great energy, good rotation of the shoulder, good starting of the pikes. Also for him, maybe Célion stop a little bit too much the feet in the air, so not so much rising up of the shoulder from the table, but very good as well. Okay, so this is the way we can do like this, on pit, situation, adaptation, and then we have to work on the twist, and we can do on trampoline, we can do, we already seen how to. And, but for a specific exercise for Kasamatsu, we can use, for example, with a springboard. Okay. For him, some problem with twisting, but it's like open and twist, okay? Yeah. Don't lose your arm, okay? Okay, again. Okay, good. One, twist. Okay, you need a little bit more rotation for front landing. Good. Okay, 1.5. You can do it. Allez. Okay. Okay. Go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so second phase here, preparation, and then put together, arrive. And I just want to say you that if we combine that preparation with Salto pike with 1.5, we have made double twist. Okay, so Kasamatsu with one twist. Okay.
Would you use, like off trampoline, would you use like double pike?
Yeah, perfect. I just want to do. Yeah, yeah. A good way is double pike and twist, half, one, double. On trampoline is almost the same, no? Because you create two rotation. One rotation is on the table and the other one. And so you can get a good high, so they can work on the controlling the air, and we can also work on the skill for landing. If we have a trampoline and arrive like this, we can work in that situation for landing, to look the floor and prepare. Okay? So I think we can see later some Kasamatsu from Ellis and Celio, but so we not move, we go on and then we come back. Okay? And just one thing, come here, about landing, because on vault it's very important. Vault, it's so the injuries are very common, so everything is very important, and we have to know the good position for landing. So bend your leg, okay, open up, okay. So this kind of position, okay. Look on the floor, straight back, stretch back, and bent leg to absorb the energy. Okay, stop. And we have to do a lot of, come here, physical preparation for that. The exercises are so many, we can just go down from higher and higher step. And we have to control also in this case, not only sideways, but all in front, because it's very common that gymnasts during the landing with a lot of energy do something like this. So also the control of the knees in this position is very important. Okay, and another exercise that always maybe we don't work so much is like that. It's work for hamstring on the knee, on the knee here, like this. A little bit two knee. Okay, go down with the shoulder. Okay, you have to push with the hand. I keep your ankle, and you have to rise up. Go. Okay, and sorry, stop. Each phase is very important. So the concentric exercise and the eccentric, because when we arrive the muscle work in an eccentric way, the hamstring. Okay, so go. Okay, go down. Keep. No. Keep. Slowly. Slow. Okay, and also here we have to find a good situation. We can change the height of the block to make the exercise easier or more difficult. Okay. Any question about Kasamatsu? So we can see something about Yurchenko. Yeah.
What can you say about the hand position and hand placement?
Okay. For me, it's okay to have a neutral position of the hand. Not so many think about that. If you want to increase a little bit your push, you can use the second hand in this way. Okay, to have much more block. But I focus on maybe other points. So the important thing is that the position of the second arm is in alignment, so we can pass from the handstand and create rotation in the first phase and all like this.
Which hand rest do you prefer?
It depends. It depends on how good is the first phase. Because if you don't have rotation in the first phase, they can only put one hand very and the start of the table and the second very long, because they have to wait the time the feet arrive on the handstand. If they can create more rotation in the first phase, they can have a narrow support. And I prefer this because it means that there was a good rotation in the first phase.
I try to avoid a too wide a grip on the table, so I prefer this.
Yeah. But for me, depends a lot from the rotation that they can create in the first phase. Okay, so we don't have so much time, but we will speak about Yurchenko and just small phase. We have only one gymnast or two gymnasts that can perform this, so they will help us. Yurchenko guys, please. So for Yurchenko, we have to do a round off to arrive on the springboard, and then backflip arriving on the table with in handstand, and then a snap to enter the rotation. Okay, it's quite important to arrive on the springboard in a good position. This kind of position, same thing about the mechanical. Okay, so not like this, but like this. Wait, the springboard go down and then go up. Okay, and so it's we can prepare step by step. Okay, and the first exercise we have to do is to try to make the gymnast confidence with a round off that arrive in a higher okay, something like that. We have to pay attention to the support, the line of the hand. Okay, guys? Some other? Okay, not so much snap. You arrive like this. Okay. 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 Okay, something like this. And then we have to work to understand the arrive on the springboard and then they take off. And the first thing we can do is to have a round off in the same situation of the vault. So springboard and hand mat and salto back just here or in the pit is not a problem. And I just want to say something more about the run. It's not so easy to transform the run maybe for direct vault, Yurchenko, Kasamatsu and spring and with Yurchenko, but is a good tips is if you have a stable run up, just remove 2 steps from the run up and you have the run up for Yurchenko. It's a good way. Maybe it can work, then you can adapt. But you know, if you arrive with last leg on the spring, remove 2 steps and hurdle with this leg. Okay? So we create the same situation on floor with arriving on the pit or soft mat is not a problem. And just okay. Okay, so first step, round off, arriving on a high surface and then round off, same situation of the table. Okay. Pay attention on the head position, so round off, arriving in this position and then just align and hips works front to enter rotation. Go. Arrivi troppo così, più rondata. Vai. Okay, good, quite good. First step and second step. First step is to recreate the same exercise but with the table behind. Okay, it's just to make the gymnast confidence to have something. Okay, and so we have just want from them somersault, back somersault. Okay, and so the target is the highest of the salto, and don't think for the first time to reach the table with the hand or to make some more rotation.
Do you have a preference on where their arms are in the somersault?
For this rotation, just like here and go down.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's only to understand how to arrive on the round off, how to rebound from the round off, and the movement of the hips, because it's totally different when you have to do Yurchenko, because they have to use the art.
I've seen like a lot of people doing that.
Okay, I know. No problem for the moment. Okay, no problem for the moment. I know that in Great Britain you use this kind of techniques. I think it's good. It's good to understand the opening of the shoulder. That is very important for the salto. I don't care so much in this phase. They just only have to arrive on the springboard, use it, and enter in a salto. For the first time, they can use half run, and we want the same exercise, but in this situation. So we don't have to looking for too much rotation, but just salto backward that goes up. Bye. Okay, not so much energy. He is not so tall, so maybe the table is too high for him. We can use for the first time lower table, okay, to research the correct technique. But if they can arrive on the mat in stand-up position, we can move on with the second step. 5 minuti. Again, some run problem, it was too far. So we don't have anybody of the gymnasts that in the moment they perform Yurchenko, just him and Tom tried in these days. Tom now was the best one, but some problem on the back, so stop him. But it's just to understand. So, okay, when this phase is okay, we can move on and we can add more rotation on the first flight, and so we can perform a salto tempo on the table. Don't think about the support of the hand, just arrive and use a little bit more the hips to create more rotation. Okay, so it's not like this, but use a little bit more the arm and the hips. Okay, and the fourth phase is to arrive on the table with the hand, but with soft touch, not so much spring, just to understand. And the important thing is that the gymnasts look to the hands when they arrive on the table. And then last step is to arrive in a very power situation, very prepared on the shoulder to create a snap and arrive low back on the mat. So maybe we can try again this exercise. So salto backward. Okay, a little bit better. But to summarize you, so 5 steps, it is round off on the mat to understand that they have to push a little bit more to arrive straight on the springboard. Then on the pit, on the floor with soft mat, round off with the same situation, collar and mat, round off and salto backward. Then safe situation, covering the table, somersault. Then salto tempo, then soft touch, and then touch. Of course, to arrive on the table in a proper situation, it's important to work on shoulder flexibility, okay? Because it's important to arrive very early. And also hip flexibility, because it's very important the action of the hip to enter the back flip to the table. And from the second phase, it's important the snap action, okay? And for example, just to exercise for the snap action, to short mat, it's more difficult. If we rise up the plan where we start the exercise, it's more easy for the gymnast, so we have to do step by step, right? Go. So, and the important thing is that the snap is on the chest. Okay, not here, but on the chest, not too much shoulder, just chest. Again? Two. Okay. Just only here. Ho. Ok, you lose a little bit here. Ok, cerchi di non usare la schiena. Allineati. Ok. Ok. Not here, just here. Again. Ok, finish with the hand. Allineati bene, apri il bacino. Ok, da qua, giù le spalle. Ok, a little bit here. Ok, and Rossana showed you in the last days some exercise with the stick. Another very good exercise for me is to using the feet ball, and they can work in couple, so one in front of the other. Okay, here. You just have to use the chest and you have to, okay? So from this position, block middle body, open the chest. No, 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 only the chest, and leave the, okay? Okay, without go down with the shoulder. Okay, good. Okay. Open here, here. Okay, stop. Okay? Then when we release the table, the hand can go down to reduce the inertia moment and enter the salto. Okay? So that's it for Yurchenko, and we can show maybe to Kasamatsu if the gymnast won with double twist, and then we finish. If you have any question.
Yurchenko seems to be like traditionally used for people who like struggle with heel drive or have a different issue with vault. Would you teach it as you teach everyone to Yurchenko,
No.
or would you
No.
just say it's good for this gymnast?
No. Yeah, okay. He asked me if in Italy we teach to each gymnast Yurchenko and Kasamatsu, or if only for somebody. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think it will be the one opportunity to have the double vault for competition, but not every gymnast are ready or are specialists on vault. And it's a good situation for the one that has maybe some problem on runs and not so much power on the legs. For example, the French guy start in these days because he had very difficulties on Kasamatsu, on the run-up and something like that. Until maybe 2 years ago, we had a compulsory program where the gymnast needs to do 2 vaults, but then we cancelled it. And only for the 12 years old, if they want, they gain a bonus if they perform Yurchenko. Okay, just to give them a direction. But you know, it depends. If, for example, it depends on the quality of the gymnast. If he can and can imagine double saltos, it's okay. If you have a very a gymnast that understands technique very well, it's a good way. If you have a very powerful gymnast, maybe Kasamatsu and Roche are better, is better, and something like that. So no, not Yurchenko for anybody. But it could be a good solution. It takes longer time because techniques is very. You have to do step by step, and technique is a little bit complex for me. Maybe also on Kasamatsu and Salto vault from handspring, technique is difficult, but you know, you can create compensation using more powerful or adaptation. Not in Yurchenko. Yurchenko, you have to be very good on the techniques. Okay? Okay? The British guy, Ellis, this morning had some problem on the second phase because he think the salto, the double twist as a backward double twisting salto, and he lose his head in right way. We had with his coach some work this morning, trying to do preparation with salto carpio, and at the end he realized the salto pike with 1.5, and so the double twist, and it was very good for being the first time. I don't know if now he can repeat, but we can see. Okay, go. Just we will do one preparation. Okay, it's quite good. It's quite good. Maybe a little bit too much against on the table, not so much rotation on the first phase. Okay, it's good. It's good. A little bit more. Okay. Okay, good. I think the technique is quite good. Maybe not so much amplitude for the moment, and yes, maybe not clear support on the table. You need more rotation on the first phase. It was a little bit too much against the table, but for sure this is a forward salto, and this is very important. Yeah, if you remember. Okay. Quite good, quite good. A little bit like this in the air, so not so much rising up with the shoulder and entering the salto pike with the shoulder. But do you feel forward salto or backward salto? Okay. Not good at the, okay, perfect. And it's important to ask to him so he can understand. Okay. Thank you guys, and I hope if you have any questions you can do, but I think it's late, so have a good lunch. Thank you.